Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to talk about my Sephora spending history. This is my annual spending at Sephora for the past 14 years. I live in Canada, and some of you may know that Sephora first entered the Canadian marketplace, making online orders available to Canadian residents in 2003. The following year, in 2004, Sephora opened its first Canadian retail location, a brick-and-mortar store located in the Toronto Eaton Centre. While I have been tracking my finances since around the year 2000-2001, I don't have any data prior to 2005 because I used to use a USB key, and unfortunately one of my early USB keys failed on me and I didn't have a backup anywhere. I am almost 100% certain though that in 2003 and 2004 my spending at Sephora was close to nil or perhaps even zero. I do have concrete numbers from 2005 onward, so let's just get on with those. In the years of 2005 to 2010, my spending at Sephora was very minimal. I would pop in every once in a while, mostly if I needed something or if I wanted to give something as a gift. In 2005, I spent around $40 at Sephora, and this is spending for the entire year. In the following 2 years, 2006 and 2007, my spending was actually zero. Then in 2008 and 2009, I again spent around $40 in each of those 2 years. And my spending in 2010 went back down to zero. So as you can see, in the first, I would say 7 to 8 years of Sephora being available to Canadian residents, I spent very little money there. Prior to Sephora, I was pretty much buying exclusively drugstore products, which is why when Sephora was introduced in Canada, I didn't really take notice and I didn't really adjust my spending right away because I was used to having just a few drugstore products, using them all up, and then buying a replacement. I wasn't really into beauty products per se, trying a whole bunch of different things. Moving forward to 2011, this is when I started my YouTube channel. And I started my channel in November of 2011. In that year, I spent $207. And that little uptick was probably a direct result of me spending more time on YouTube, watching videos, watching beauty reviews, and that sort of thing. Next, I want to talk about the year 2012. This is the first full calendar year that I had my YouTube channel, and what happened in this year to my Sephora spending is what I have dubbed the YouTube effect. My spending essentially shot up to around $750 after having many years at a more reasonable level. This is around the time I discovered beauty boxes, and I was buying a lot of products to try, and I was doing a lot of review videos. I just got caught up in all of the excitement and all of the fun of trying and buying new beauty products. 2013 was the year that saw the height or a spike in my Sephora spending, where I spent a whopping $1,669. There was a catalyst though. 2013 is the year Sephora introduced the Sephora Rouge program. After I reached Rouge status, I realized that there weren't actually that many perks to being a Rouge member at that time. So in the following 2 years, my spending actually dropped quite a bit. In 2014 and in 2015, my spending dropped to around $550 to $600. This was also around the time that I did my first makeup inventory and I realized how much I had. A funny thing happened though in 2016 and in 2017. I wasn't really buying cosmetics anymore in terms of blush, lipstick, and that sort of thing, but I was starting to get more into skincare. And for whatever reason, around that time, I decided I wanted to be part of the Sephora Rouge program again. I have a feeling they did change the program slightly, and those slight changes enticed me to want to become a Rouge member again. In 2016, I spent around $1,100 at Sephora, and then in 2017, I spent around $1,200. So I did hit Rouge status in both of those years. In 2017, I started to really have a shift in mindset. I talked a little bit about this in my fulfillment curve video, where I just reached the tail end of fulfillment for all of these things that I was buying, and I wasn't deriving as much satisfaction from each additional purchase. In terms of material goods, I lost interest almost completely, and I was buying very little heading into 2018. I didn't have an intentional no-buy in place like I do now. Instead, I just kind of lost interest and I stopped shopping. I just followed what I felt inside. In 2018, I saved a lot of money from not buying all of these different things that I used to buy. But since we're talking about Sephora in particular, at Sephora, I only spent $262, which is very close to what I spent in 2011, before the height of YouTube, before my obsession with beauty products, and before Sephora introduced the Rouge program. And just an update for 2019, even though we are only on May 1st at this time, in the first 4 months of this year, I haven't spent any money at Sephora. I've made 0 purchases there. Overall, if you aggregate all of my spending at Sephora for my entire lifetime, we're looking at approximately $6,000 or $7,000, which doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. But if you take into consideration that I was buying makeup and skincare from other sources as well as Sephora, it really does add up. But I wanted to look at Sephora as a standalone case in this video because I thought it was so interesting, the impact of the VIB Rouge program on my personal spending. That is going to be it for this video. Please let me know down below if you've ever looked at your spending at Sephora to see over the years how you've tracked and whether you have a similar pattern of spending as I did. This video is meant to be a little bit of food for thought, just thinking about how marketing programs and loyalty programs affect our spending. I find it a really interesting topic and I would love to hear your thoughts down below. If you're interested, I did a little series on the psychology of shopping, essentially talking about not shopping from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. I will link all of those videos down below if you want to check them out. In 2019, I'm also on an intentional no-buy, so there are a few no-buy videos and I will link that playlist down below as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will see you very soon in another one. Until then, please take care and bye for now.